And lastly, we have a very interesting study, which is by Il Young Kim and colleagues, a review update on maximal anabolic response of dietary protein. So this review focuses on the previously established maximum amount of protein that you could or that you should consume within a meal and within a day. So we know that within a meal the recommended is 0.3 grams per kilogram, and for daily dosage we have 2.2 grams per kilogram a day. Now, they start off by saying it has been postulated that the maximal anabolic response can be elicited with intakes of 25 to 30 grams of high quality protein solely based on the stimulation of muscle protein synthesis. Now, what they actually focus on in this paper is that the maximal anabolic response is a combination of the protein synthesis sparked by and supported by the protein that you do ingest, with the combination of muscle protein breakdown or the suppression of it. So the net balance or the maximum anabolic effect of protein has to be considered as the protein synthesis that it sparks and the reduction of muscle protein breakdown. In our recent acute metabolic study, we observed that in the fasting state, whole body protein synthesis was approximately 3.5 grams per kilogram a day. So when you're fasting, your body synthesizes 3.5 grams per kilogram a day. And protein breakdown was approximately 4.3 grams per kilogram a day. So when you are fasting, you actually have a negative turnover. So you are actually breaking down more protein than that which you are building, which makes sense. In our example, a 50% increase in whole body protein synthesis would be 3.5 grams per kilogram a day times 0.5, or equals to 1.75 gram per kilogram a day. So that's if you increase protein synthesis by 50%, you get a uptick of protein synthesis by, you are adding more a 1.75 gram per kilogram a day to the existing 3.5 that you are synthesizing while fasting. With regards to the maximal suppression of breakdown, we have previously shown that intake of a mixed meal containing protein suppressed breakdown by approximately 60%. And breakdown cannot be totally shut off. So we can reasonably confident, this is not well structured, we can reasonably confident that whole body protein breakdown can be maximally suppressed to 20% of its basal value. That would be 80% suppression. Moving on, this corresponds to a reduction in breakdown of 2.15 gram per kilogram a day, when the maximal rate of suppression of breakdown, 3.44 grams per kilogram a day, is added to the maximal increase in synthesis, 1.75 gram per kilogram a day. The total maximal anabolic response is 5.19 gram per kilogram a day. So what they did here was they postulated, or they hypothesized, that if all of their measurements or all of their calculus are right, we can Therefore, we can hope to have a maximal anabolic response of 5.19 gram per kilogram a day. That would be the maximal anabolic response that you can provide with protein. And they go on to say they actually go on to calculate what's the amount of protein that you should eat to maximally stimulate protein synthesis and suppress muscle protein breakdown. So they go on and they say, for the purpose of this example, we will consider the case of a high quality protein that is extensively digested. In this case, then, about 25% of dietary protein is approximately available for incorporation into protein. This assumption is based on the long-lasting knowledge that nitrogen retention is about 20 to 25% of ingested protein over a wide range of protein intake. Thus, it would require approximately 2.6 grams per kilogram a meal to achieve the maximal anabolic response to 1 meal. So 2.6 grams per kilogram a meal, not a day. Remember, we were talking about 2.2 grams per kilogram a meal a day to maximize hypertrophy. Now they are hypothesizing that if you wanted to max out your anabolic response to a protein containing meal, you should or could be eating 2.6 grams per kilogram a meal. The value would be considerably higher with a lower quality protein. For a 70 kilogram individual, it would therefore require 2.6 grams per kilogram a meal times 70 kilograms equals to 182 grams of protein to achieve the maximal anabolic response. This amount of dietary protein considerably exceeds the amount of protein that would normally be eaten in a meal, 10 to 60 grams. No shit. 10 to 60 grams is the normal amount that an average human being eats in a meal of protein, 10 to 60 grams. And they are talking about 2.6 grams per kilogram a meal. You calculate that by multiplying by your weight. In this case, they multiplied by 70 kilograms, which is a soy boy's weight. Again with the soy boys. Man, I gotta leave the soy boys alone. Anyway, 70 kilograms times 2.6 equals to 182 grams of protein. That's a shit ton of protein to achieve the maximal anabolic effect of protein. Furthermore, it has been shown in an 8-week chronic study that lean body mass was increased linearly with increasing amount of protein intake encompassing 50 to 320 grams a day. That's in between 0.72 and 4.2 grams per kilogram a day. This was done in young subjects, which is this study that I have right here, that I will not go over with you because we are just about running out of time. But this is the study that they are referencing. They actually did a study in which they ate in between 0.7 grams per kilogram a day and 4.2 grams per kilogram a day, and they saw a linear relationship between protein intake, meaning the more protein intake, the more lean body mass you can achieve within an 8-week period.